It is no small task to consider how we will help our students progress from communicating only through behaviors and facial expression to communicating any message they desire independently and spontaneously. In fact, in 1997, Gloria Soto conducted survey research that tells us teachers have always believed that communication training for students is a positive thing, and that communication training is a collaborative effort between the teachers and the SLPs. But there is still a prevalent hesitancy to begin to explicitly instruct students in AAC. The first thing that we have to talk about is, what do I mean when I say communication? Communication is not simply responding or labeling. So it's not our students answering questions or naming items. Communication, real communication, is a way that we meet our needs. It's a means for us to socially connect with each other, to share information, unknown information, to a partner. And it's a message that you choose yourself. So if you want to know when you're working with your students, if what you're doing is targeting communication, you have to consider, do I already know what the student is trying to communicate? Because if you do, then what's coming out of that student in that moment is not truly communication. Communication is sharing a message to someone that is not already known to them, right? A message that they select themselves to connect or to meet their needs, given to a partner that doesn't already know what they're trying to say. Musselwhite and Howard, in their 2021 ASHA session on effective, engaging AAC instruction, talked about the need for us to teach communication through both explicit and embedded instruction. Explicit instruction is a targeted, planned activity which targets a specific word or message. It often occurs in a therapy room or within a structured activity. Embedded instruction occurs during the course of naturally occurring activities when the situation demands it or simply provides an opportunity for it. The key to embedded instruction is that it occurs within authentic activities, not ones we've engineered for instruction. It's important when we're teaching communication that we have both of these components in the instruction. So what affects teachers' willingness to teach communication through AAC? Why are we finding that often this is only occurring when the speech pathologist is in the room? Well, Dr. Soto found that teachers' willingness to use AAC in the classroom is dependent on their perception of their students' ability to learn to communicate effectively. Now, that's not as simplistic as saying teachers don't believe in their students. This perception is highly dependent on their perception of their own skills and responsibilities and their ability to teach their students to use AAC effectively. It's that willingness to get out of your comfort zone and learn this new concept. And this makes sense. There's no step-by-step manual for how to teach AAC. There's no scope and sequence of the whole process. Teachers and therapists are asked to try a myriad of techniques and materials without always knowing exactly what the outcomes are going to be. There's no clear ending point and no sequence to follow, which gets us back to our original issue. Teachers aren't sure the students will be able to learn to communicate effectively because they aren't sure if they know how to teach communication or even if it's their job to do so. Dr. Soto had an answer to that too, though. In her research, she found that teachers believe that communication training is a collaborative effort between teachers and students. So we already know that teaching students to communicate using AAC in speech requires the expertise of both the teacher and the SLP, and if we're being honest, participation from the family too. Once we have everyone on board, it's just a matter of identifying the steps and supplying the training tools to the team to increase everyone's confidence that they know what to do and that there's going to be a positive outcome to their efforts. So this is where the AAC 101 Steps to Learning program comes into play. The Steps to Learning program is our attempt to give our teachers, therapists, and families a specific sequence of activities with supporting materials in order to empower the team in moving their student from communicating through behaviors and facial expression to communicating autonomously, being able to say what they want to say, when they want to say it, to whomever they want to say it to. There are 5 steps to this sequence: target, train, take in, try it, and talk. In step 1, target, we select the words and messages we are going to teach. In step 2, we begin the process of training how we say the word or message. We're learning where the symbol lives on our AAC system, what it looks like or sounds like, the motor sequence to navigate through pages on our AAC applications, and of course, signing or saying the word, if that's appropriate. In this step, we are not learning to use the word to communicate. We're just learning to say the word. Step 3 is all about the partner, modeling how the word or message is used in the real world. The point of this step is for the student to begin to understand when to use these words and messages and what it looks like when someone communicates using the method that they ultimately will be using themselves. This is exactly how infants and toddlers begin to learn to speak, by watching and experiencing their parents and the other adults around them communicating by talking to each other for real purposes. In step 4, we're finally asking the student to begin to try saying the word or message for real purposes, with help and prompting as needed, of course. And finally, step 5, our ultimate goal, that our student will begin to talk with speech or AAC, saying the word or message independently for their own real purposes, to be able to say what they want to say, when they want to say it, to whomever they want to say it to.